like to welcome everyone here tonight. It's another good turn up. My President's Report, which most of it's already been published in the magazine for those that do read it. The main thing that I wanted to bring up here, that we had a suggestion for a different venue. That was Matthew Flinders, in which Ian Ross and myself have been down there, met the function manager. So what we're going to do, we're going to give it a try next month. And we've sort of booked in already. So that's pretty much in the geographical centre of Melbourne. So we'll give it a go, and then we'll probably come back here for our couple that we were going to, we've given the okay that we'll have 4 meetings here. So we'll look at it after next month. So the more that are there, the better. So that's the main thing. The other thing was, I'd like to thank Marcus Kunath for all the work he's done in doing his annual report. He's spent many hours getting it done, and just like to thank him for all his effort. And I'd also like to thank the Rules Subcommittee for all the work that they've done, which is a hell of a lot. So, and the other thing with Zoom, if you want to ask a question verbally, just put your hand up at any time. As long as it's got a bearing with what we're talking about, you're more than welcome to have a verbal contribution. Okay, we'll move on now to the Geelong report from Alison Williams. Welcome, Alison.
Thanks, Peter. That was quick. Took me by surprise. Evening, everybody. Got a full house tonight, haven't we? I think we've got 87, so that's good. The Geelong report, our April guest speaking at very short notice was Rotary. As Easter Sunday, we had to find a new guest speaker for Easter Tuesday. It was quite interesting to hear about Rotary and all the projects that they do overseas. Our social was the Stevenson's Fall and dinner at Forest, which we met up with Marcus's trip. And our May meeting will be at Petters Suspension. So anyone's welcome to come to that in Geelong. Details will be put on Facebook. They'll put a couple of different vehicles up on the hoist, and we'll be able to have a look at all the different types of suspension. They're bringing someone down from their team in Melbourne to talk to us. So hopefully it'll be interesting. And we'll be having dinner at our hotel just down the road beforehand. And we'll put details of that on Facebook and Weekend Wrap.
Thanks, Alison. I forgot to mention that the 4-wheel drive had their annual presidents meeting on Saturday, which was the reason I couldn't get to Terrain Tamer. And Eric will speak about it more at length when we're in shortly, when he gives his 4-wheel drive report. Okay, we move on now to marketing report by Matt Lilly.
First of all, thank you for those that came to Terrain Tamer over the weekend. I hope you had a good time. A few people got their vehicles dirty, a few good specials to be had. 66 people were registered for the event, 56 attended, so it's a pretty good turnout. 4 people gave apologies. A couple of people didn't give apologies, but that's okay. Appreciate it when you do, though. Terrain Tamer expressed interest in Cruisacana and potentially entering the event. And putting up some sponsor stuff, and also in the gathering. So they're interested in getting involved with that next year as well. So we'll be working on that in the background. Out of a bit of interest, Terrain Tamer has purchased a property called Porcupine Village near Malden. Does anyone know that one? It's a gold town recreation, a bit like Sovereign Hill, just on a smaller scale. So they're going to be opening it officially under Terrain Tamer in June. So we're going to work on doing a day up there for club members. So that should be interesting as well. What else to update on? Toyota is doing their driving event on the 6th and 7th of May. That's following the DA. So DA is Saturday, Sunday, Toyota Monday, Tuesday. So that's just going ahead there. We should have 14 participants and 7 vehicles. So no exceptionally interesting vehicles. They're bringing a few different Toyotas and a couple of competitor cars. So they're going to give them a try out. And that's about it.
Now we move right on to the ARC Manager report.
Last month, we had 27 people up there for the maintenance weekend. And the report in this month's magazine covers the 2 previous months. And I made sure that everybody's name went in there, because then people can see just who comes up and does the stuff up there. If you're attending this coming weekend and you're going to the Stockman Social and you're not booked in for the maintenance weekend, you won't get that credit as having done a maintenance weekend, which probably a lot of you need to do to become full members. So if you haven't booked in for that, book in now, and you'll be expected to do something if you have booked in for the maintenance weekend. You know, not just come up and have the free sausage or whatever it is that we're going to have. Another item that's been brought to my attention is rubbish being left up at Yark. If you've taken rubbish in or taken anything in, make sure that you take all your rubbish home with you when you leave the property. But somebody else has got to clean it all up. Otherwise, we'll just leave it in a pile in the corner and everybody will love that. At our last maintenance weekend, at our last management meeting, I'd invited Craig, our new education guy, to come along and just sort of have a chat and meet the team that spend a lot of time up there, and also to listen to what he's got planned as far as education goes. And it was a pretty good little rundown that he gave us. And we're also meeting with him this weekend so that we can sort of run through a few things, Yark type things that he may need to know and get involved in, seeing that he's a reasonably new member. So that was good the other night. Tasks for this weekend: the toilet down at the Birch Hut, that's still being constructed. We're getting close to that now. There'll be some more mulch coming in to put in with all the plants and what have you. There's still be grass to cut. That's an ongoing thing that we'll be working on forever, I think. And we're doing some of the Bergen control. There's a bit of poisoning being done. Some of it's being trimmed back and cut, sort of working on a few different plans for getting rid of that stuff. Plus, we've got all our regular maintenance items just to keep the place up and running, pumping water, cleaning gutters, just all that general sort of stuff. Making sure all the machines are working, checking the oil, checking the solar and the 240, all the globes, all that sort of stuff. They're just regular things that have to be done. So come along and be part of that and enjoy the rest of the weekend as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Brian. Next, we move on to driver training report, which is Veronica's on Zoom, I believe.
Good evening, everyone. So we've just completed our March DA, and we had a little bit of wet weather the Friday night through to the Saturday morning, but certainly it didn't dampen anybody's enthusiasm for those that were participating in the weekend. We have done our April theory, and in a couple of weeks' time, we will have our April DA, and as Matt said, followed by the Toyota people coming up. And we also now have May open, so if there's any new members out there that have their cars ready, I encourage you to book in for the May theory and practical coming up. Thank you for that, Peter.
Any questions there at all? No, we can move on then. And our next report is the trips report by Sharon McGregor.
Okay, so I want to thank everyone for being so patient with us at the moment with trips. We're trying to get some more trips on board. Last month we had 4 trips. We had on the 3rd of March, we had cleanup. Oh, these are trips and activities. So on the 3rd of March, we had the Clean Up Australia Day at Point Henry with Alison Williams running it. On the 10th of March, there was huts and more huts around Mount Sterling, which Andy and I ran. There is a write-up and a video in the magazine. So if you go to the magazine and you're reading the trip report, yeah, sorry, There is a little icon there which you can click on and it opens up the video so you can actually watch the video as well. On the 16th and 17th of March, there was a Haunted Stream Nicholson River Explore trip run by Rob Duff. There's also a trip report in the club magazine and a video on that one as well. On the 22nd and the 24th, Can't See the Forest for the Trees, run by Marcus Kunith. And the trip report is also in the club magazine for that one as well. So coming on to this month at the moment, and last month there were 2 trips cancelled due to the total fire ban day, which interrupted those trips. One has been reposted and I'm hoping to repost the other one for Anzac weekend. So keep an eye out, that one could be coming. So this month we have 2 trips on board at the moment. Day at the Derg, trip leader Marcus Kunith on the 20th of April. And on the 25th to 28th of April, we have McDonald Highway Little Desert Anzac weekend. Trip leaders Graham Innes and Veronica Vermeulen. Okay, sorry. But all trips at the moment are full. So the following month, we have a trip, the one that was cancelled last month has been put back in by David and Michelle Pearce, who are running Craig's Hut Take 2. There is a trip leader course coming up at the end of April, beginning of May. It will be run on Zoom. There are 13 new trip leaders enlisted for that, and there's 7 vacancies. Please jump on board. If you're waiting for trips to be run, why not get on board and run them? So put your hand up, come along and do the course, and I hope to see you there. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sharon. Rob Duff here tonight. You want to come up, Rob, just to maybe comment even during your video?
Look, this is the Haunted Stream that we've run about a month ago. This trip's been on my bucket list for quite a while. And of course, due to COVID, track closures, fires, the last straw this year, we had river debris cleaning. We finally got to do it last month. So basically, our trip started at the Deptford Campground, which is an old gold mining area near Bairnsdale. I don't know if any of you guys know it. Sure you do. Anyway, it's an awesome spot if you're ever looking for a bush camp. From there, we followed the Nicholson River track, which I guess was a bit of a wild ride. We had lots of massive big climbs and descents and the odd bog hole. Then we ended up at the Dargo for a little bit of a quick refreshment. And the next day saw us heading into Dawson City. And then we started our journey down the Haunted Stream. I think it was 52 plus river crossings, but I guess who's counting? And then we ended up at Bruthen at the Bulland Brewery for another refreshment. Anyway, look, special thanks for Steve or Macca for putting this video together, and sit back and enjoy.
Yeah, it has. Good morning. Morning.
Hello.
Hello. How are you? Boom.
That's all the mission drivers. We'll start the trip now. So trip officially starts. So today we're heading up the Nicholson River. So we're going to go and have a look at a couple of huts, and then end up at the Dargo for a little bit of a refreshment, hopefully 3 o'clock, and then head down to 2 Mile Flat, a trip report, to get that out of the way. So I've got a cunning little plan in here. So
Is there a short match in there? Is there?
Yeah, that's a good
one
idea.
short match. So one match
I can't write.
per car. Right. So who would like to start?
I can't
Long match.
write.
All right. Long match.
Joker.
Oh, it should be your bunny. Don't blame your ladies on me.
Oh!
With the 200s in front, they could have cleared the track for us. I know where there's a couple.
Accelerate a bit, mate.
That wasn't part of the plan, but it worked.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but on our right-hand side, is that seldom seen?
The haunted stream, so it should be a lovely little journey for everybody. It should be a little bit easier than today, we hope. Fingers crossed. No, there's never any guarantees in the four-wheel drive trip. Okay, so let's get going, guys.
Wonderful. Beauty.
Stay to the left when you come around that bend because it's a drop off into the creek. There's lots of rocks.
I've learnt from the wet feet. Haunted Stream track. Meanders through the valley and it's awesome. You've got to do it. Next time there's a trip on, get on because it's well worth it. There's endless river crossings. It's terrific.
Well done, Rob, with that. While we're on trip reports, we just got a late trip report that Gary Cooper wants to talk about, which I think is Rover. I'm not know the other place, Portland. Is it? Yeah. So without further ado, I'll hand you over to Gary.
Thanks, Pete. Good evening, all. Now, anybody in the audience ever been to Portland with me over the last years or two and survived, right? Just, well, I was going to try to put on again this year with the help of Rob Duff. But I got in contact with the secretary of the Portland Dune Buggy Club last night, and unfortunately the club now does not allow any clubs in four drives anyway to go there on any long weekend during the year, which has been unfortunate. Reason being is they've had a few safety issues there with four-wheel drives and dune buggies coming together and chopping the tracks up, making big holes everywhere. That's not us, because we do it properly. We let our tyres down about 12 pound or thereabouts, and we go around okay. But apparently there's been a lot of problems with four-wheel drives chopping the tracks up and all that sort of stuff. So unfortunately, they've called it off. They've also put up their 4-day membership fee from $50 to $80. Not that that's much of a concern, but the problem is that we won't be able to go there on a long weekend, which is ideal for the time that it takes to get there, do what we want to do, and then get back home again. The Cup weekend was ideal for that. So unfortunately, it's a bit of bad news, unless we can sort of organise a long weekend for perhaps all the retired people to go down there of an ordinary weekend and spend 4 days down. That's still on, but you can't go on a long weekend anymore now. Sorry about that. Thanks, Pete.
Now we've got next the Cruisacana report with Amanda.
I'm super happy to announce that we have a full Cruisacana committee. I've even done some additions of some admin people because I felt like that's what we needed. So I've got Lisa McIntosh and Michelle Pearce are going to be our admin and gophers who are just going to be amazing help for all of us. I've got Gareth Malloy is going to be our chief marshal. He's really open to learn. And so all of the past marshals, if you could please give him a hand, because you've offered me lots and now I've passed it over to him. Brad Lane is going to be our finance and entries, and he's actually Gareth's partner. So that's going to be a massive help because that's also what he does for a job. I've got John Price's logistics, and then myself, I'm going to be doing coordinator plus sponsors and marketing. So I've kind of merged it together because it is what I do. And then I'm going to get Liz and Michelle are going to help me. I wanted to say a massive thank you to Darren Buswell and Matt Lilly for the support with our sponsors. So Matt Lilly's going to help me with our 3 big guys. We're going to get lots of new merchandise. We're going to get some new flags. There's a lot going on. Just a bit of a refresh, and we'll be able to use those for other events as well. They're not just going to be Cruisacana only. So it'll be a benefit to the whole club. This weekend, being maintenance, I'm going to take myself and Gareth and anyone else that wants to be a marshal or would like to just see what it's about down at Cruisacana. Once we've done maintenance, we're going to spend about half an hour going around the events and having a look. We're also going to ask the Yark maintenance team for their previous experience in what we should do with fixing up some of the events, and we'll create a timeline based on when the event needs to start, and then we will hopefully have everything fixed up and spruced up by the time the event comes along.
Have you got a schedule of events as yet?
So the schedule of events, tomorrow night, we're also going to start our marketing, which is with clubs outside of our club. The schedule of events that I currently have is that we've split it over 1.5 days and lessen the events so that we have more time to logistically move everybody around. If we have a really high expression of interest, then we do have time to move that as well. So yeah, I don't think we're going to be struggling for people wanting to join this year because of the way that we've changed the marketing.
Thanks, Amanda. It's good to see it's sort of back on track. Now we're going to have a 10-minute break. We'll have a video playing while we're having a break.
Might go to 3 days of rain on the Canning.
I'm not complaining.
Every day you say the hardest part of the sand dunes driving down. Wouldn't get up today. Oh, it's slippery. driving over this after 50 mil of rain, Sarge? I don't think you've been driving. Yeah, so we're lucky with the weather.
Well, 43. 43? Or 41? 41. That says 41.
Yeah, 41.
41.
Yeah.
Is this a Len Bedell section of track, is it?
I don't think so. I just think it's when they were eventually established, because, you know, if you look on the map, there's two ways around here, but everyone goes sort of this way to get to the 40, get to 44, referring to the straight line. Yes.
No, fair enough. Just a very straight track, that's all.
Yeah, yeah. I'll see this one on the way down.
Oh, what do you know? More corrugations. Oh, we are driving through some very, very thick, dense, tall scrub at the moment. Both sides of the car are getting scratched. You just can't help it. There's nothing you can do about it. Oh goodness, we're at well 44. No, we're heading to well 44.
You were sort of there. Wow! Gotta get a photo of this.
Oh wow!
Little spot here would be alright to camp if we could scrounge some wood. I'm gonna get a photo of it.
He's almost done. Morning, Mikey.
Good morning, Becca.
Morning, Sarge. What did you think of the shot line dunes yesterday?
That was great. That was just so much fun. Better than the fun.
Yeah, that's what I reckon. Can we go back? That was good fun. Up and down, up and down. It was good fun. And the driving last night, just before we got into camp.
Driving in Brian. Couldn't see a thing.
They were the highs and lows of yesterday.
As I was just saying, I didn't include Gravity Lake in the briefing yesterday because I didn't think we'd get here. But the lack of camping got us here, and wasn't it magnificent? So
It was,
well done.
yes.
Yeah,
It was
yeah. Oh,
awesome.
it was more.
Getting here was magic.
Yeah, it was more the go. Okay, so now today, like we're sort of starting to get into the nice dunes and the sandy desert now, and the Great Sandy. So we've got mainly a northerly track all the way up now. So it's going to be more ups and downs today. It's a good drive today. It was sensational. So today it's only about 11, 12 Ks as the crow flies to 45. Then 25 to 46, 37 to 47. And then we're going to do Mount Romilly between 47 and 48. Remember I told you there was that flat top
Yes,
you can drive
yeah.
up on? So we're going to do that. It's a little bit of a diversion to go back to that, but we're going to do that anyway because of a fabulous view. And then up to 48, which is where the entrance to Breeden Pool is.
Back of the truck. Gravity Lake. How good's that? And we just came out of Gravity Lake, and what an absolute treasure that was last night. Gravity Lake, just picture this. Gravity Lake with water. That's rare enough as it is. And we sat there and watched a crescent moon with Venus setting.
Okay, moving right along. We've now moved on to the National Gathering Report, which I believe Michael Martin's going to give it.
Thanks, Peter. Good evening, all. Good evening, everyone online and anywhere else around the country. So we're making good progress. We had the draft policy for our cancellation approved by the committee the other day. So that now allows us to move forward in putting material out to the club and around the countryside. Scott Hamilton will be putting out some information on weekend wrap and other mediums as far as proposed and a selection of trips, and we'll be looking for people who are interested in running those trips accordingly. Overall, the planning's going well. So with the stuff that we've got so far, we'll be doing some allocations by the end of the month. Deposits, that's to numbers for each of the states. Now, we know from experience that there will be a difference between expressions of interest and people putting their mouths where their money is, or their money where their mouths is when it comes to paying up. There will be a 20% deposit required by September, with the balance due by the 1st of December. So that gives us time to ensure that where we're going to have perhaps a shortfall in our expectation numbers, we can go around some of the other states. It almost looks as though the entire population of the TLCC of WA want to be here. So that's an interesting one. And Brisbane, Queensland, I should say, is much the same. So New South Wales, as usual, has let us down. 6 people have shown interest. And I'm not sure whether that's because they don't actually tell them what we're doing, or whether it's just they're a little inept about it. But it has never been any different. That's the way they behave, unfortunately. So we are making good progress. We will have a lot of material out by the end of this month. We are anticipating putting out the information about the dates, about the cancellation policy, and the deposit information for the 20th September and how that can be paid, etc., etc. Any questions? Thank you.
Thanks, Michael. Now we're moving along to an education report by Craig Weiner.
Thanks, Peter. Hi, everybody. Jeanette, Kenny and I have been in the role about 3 months now, and I'm pleased to say we've managed to cobble together 4 different courses and get them up on the website, etc. The response has been really fantastic, strong. So we thought these were going to be popular courses, and they certainly proved to be that way. On the 18th of May, Bill Black is going to be running a 4-wheel drive maintenance course. We had 10 positions there, and it was filled within 8 hours. And the next day we had about 8 people on the waiting list. So we've shut off the waiting list so that we don't have too many disappointed people. But we will look at the possibly running that course again later in the year if Bill's available and we continue to get that strong demand for it. First aid course, we had 20 spots there, and that's pretty much the CPR. There are 2 different courses. There's a CPR only or the full first aid course. We've got the CPR only is filled up, and we've got about 2 or 3 spots left for the full course. So if any of you are thinking of doing it, get in as quick as you can. Got the chainsaw course, which is run for us by 4-Wheel Drive Victoria. That's in October, 4th of October. We've got 11 registered, so there's 1 spare spot there, and then we'll run a wait list for that as well. And HEMA mapping course, Justin Gill from HEMA is coming to do that, and that filled very quickly within a couple of days as well, 20 spots there. On the second day, on the Sunday, we're going to run a new fun activity, a bit of a car rally around the Yark property. Getting some help to have all the tracks mapped. I think there are already some. There is a paper map, and I think are some types of maps, but we want to get HEMA. HEMA said that they'd be happy to put the map into their system, so to speak. So we're hoping to have a competition around the property as well. Jeanette and I have been working on an education survey, and we've mapped out the questions we want to ask. We're just now working with Laurie and a few other people to determine the platform that we actually get that out to the members. So hopefully in the next few weeks we'll do that and get your ideas and feedback, not only on the courses that you'd like to see, but if there are people amongst our membership that have a passion or a skill that they're prepared to share with us, we may be able to come up with some new interesting course or courses to put on as well. So we've got 3 months in July, August, September where there isn't a course scheduled at the moment. So if we get the feedback from the survey, hopefully we'll fill in those months, and we'll pretty much have a course every month going forward. As Brian mentioned, I managed to get along to the Yark management team meeting last week, and we had some great discussions and a few laughs and nice hospitality. So thank you very much to the Yark team for telling me about what they do and learning the good work that they all put in over the time. I will be going to the maintenance weekend this weekend, but part of it is actually to finish the handover from Liz and John. That'll show me the resources for the multi-purpose building, and also the Yark team can spend some time just making sure I know the runnings of the Yark property so that everything goes smoothly on the education course days there. So that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for everyone who has registered for a course so far, and I look forward to catching up with you on a course very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. Next, we've got the social report. We've got Grace coming up.
Hi, everyone. So yes, I'm here to talk about the social this weekend. And like Brian said, it's with the maintenance weekend as well. So for all those new members that would like to come up, then they can take 2 boxes, the social and the maintenance, which will be great. So it's going to be a Stockman muster weekend. So it's all about country. You know, we're going to incorporate a bit of nice casserole dishes for dinner, country music, dancing, a country quiz. So there'll be prizes to win. There'll be giveaways. So we hope to see everyone there. We've got good numbers at the moment, but we still have few vacancies. It should have actually cut off a couple of days ago, but I convinced Laurie to put it another couple of days, like by tomorrow. So anyone that would like to book in, they've got until tomorrow. There's few vacancies. So hope to see you all there for a fun day or night. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Grace. And I believe that there's no horses allowed. Is that correct? So it won't be a pretty ordinary muster, I reckon. So that'll be a good night. Move on now to the webmaster. No, sorry, four-wheel drive report from Eric. He might like to speak about the meeting on Saturday.
Good evening, everyone. I know what I'm up for this time. Laurie. Yes, please. On Saturday, we had the presidents and delegates meeting at the Manningham Hotel, and 4 items on the agenda. The main one for everybody is the VAC report. And when you look at that VAC report, you go through it. There's about 107 or 8 pages, and it's only the last 2 pages that have got any value in it. The rest of it's all research and opinion. There are 6 areas up in the high country in the Central District, ranging from around the back of Tullarook right around to the back of Walhalla, that are being reviewed and trying to work out what value those areas are to tourism and all the rest of it. So if you go on to this link here, the main thing really is, if you want to have a say as to the area you like the most, or an area you go to often enough, and tell them what it is on that website, what it is that you go there for, that opinion will be valued. So now that the logging's all finished, the plan is to turn some of the areas into more tourist areas, because you're virtually within an hour of Melbourne, so the weekend warriors can go out. There's mountain bike riding. I don't know where they're going to get the money from, but the horse riding, mountain bike riding, four-wheel driving and bushwalking and so forth, facilities for each of these vocations in certain areas. Some of the areas will be converted to national parks, but not all of them will be. But if you read the report and you go onto that website, you'll see fairly simply where, did you all write it down? Laurie, can you go into weekend wrap, eh? So you got till the 29th of April to get your comments in there. Right. So moving ahead. No, I've forgotten what I was going to say. Thanks, Sharon. We got a new building. Yes, we have now bought the new building. It's all across the line. Everything's done. Paperwork's done. Contracts are signed. All we've got to do is wait until the right date to accept it. With the meeting on Saturday, we put up some figures for costs and so forth. So, and these are just tentative at the moment, merely to give an example as what we're looking at. The building will be like the Vintage Car Club building in Norcal Road, Nunawading, where you've got 2 meeting halls, one on the ground floor, one on the top floor, kitchen, big kitchen on the ground floor, a breakout area, offices for Four-Wheel Drive Victoria, a meeting room at the back, which will be quite large, all the state-of-the-art comms and so forth. So we walk in the door, turn the light switch on, and everything happens. Acoustic cabling underneath the carpet, so people with hearing aids can hear just as easily up the back as those up the front. 2 clubs a night. 3 clubs have already nominated their interest in being there. Rent for the clubs we're looking at the moment, and this is just tentative. We haven't resolved anything as yet. Around $100 to rent the building for the night. And if there's 2 clubs there on the night, the big lounge area down below, they can all intermingle and so forth. Kitchen there, kitchenette upstairs. And upstairs we'll have, for the clubs that book to rent the space for their monthly meetings, we're going to have about 12 or 14 small areas, a bit like what we had at the Mulgrave Club for storage. Each club will have their own storage place there as well. So it's a 370 square metre floor footprint, and we're putting a first floor in there as well. So we've got a budget of 200 grand, which we've put together to do all that. We had a budget of 1.4 to buy the building. We bought the building for 1.13, and we saved on GST because there's already a tenant in there. And so that 100 grand we saved on GST is going to go towards fit out. So it won't be a Rolls Royce place, but it'll certainly be a Commodore or a Falcon. So it'll be good quality as, you know, as today's standards of building construction will allow. The next issue was, John, sorry.
How much parking is there? Like for how many cars?
Okay. The parking, the place is in high-tech court, Crescent. Yeah. And it's 30-metre wide road. There's no one there at night time. So all of the factories that are there, we have parking, but there's a church in there, and we've spoken to them, and they've got about a 180 car space park spot at the end of the last factories, which is two doors from us. So by and large, for meetings at night time, yeah, we've probably got 200 capability of car spaces.
But nothing directly at the factory. You've got to walk to it.
Well, yeah, in front, out in the street, there's shitloads of parking out in the street.
I'm only asking because somebody complained about walking from the bottom of the car park here.
Right. Take a bike with you.
Training centre.
Sorry, mate?
Training centre.
Training centre. Oh,
The
right.
quarry, you remember the one?
I was about to say that in the back of the offices, we're going to have a training room. So the training room will also be set up for small clubs that can come along with 20 or 30 members or whatever, small meetings and the like. So it's not just for the big clubs. And we propose to rent the meeting rooms for about $300 for those who are not members of clubs. All this is going to go into the coffers and for the interest of the organisation. The Stanford Hotel's just down the road. If you want to have a meal and have our club meetings there, it'd be fantastic. But I don't want to go into that argument. We're already going down that track. So that's a bit too political. The training ground at Talangi at the end of this month is now ready for training. We unfortunately are having a problem with DECA, who are the people who gave us the land in the first place. With the property department of DECA, we're arguing over putting a toilet there. They don't like the idea of a septic tank, and we're saying we don't like the idea either because it's a rock quarry and we don't want to dig a big hole to put a tank in the ground in the rock. So we're buying a toilet that sits on a tank with some chemicals and so forth and periodically gets pumped out. Been using them in Australia for the last 25 years that I know of. There's nothing new about it. So we're having a meeting with them soon to go over that and get that signed off. But in the meantime, we're just going to start using it because it's ready. I've got the grub coming down to have a look at it tomorrow. He's coming down to look at the specialist stuff that we got to do, you know, your whoopsie-doos and your bog holes and things like that. So the grub, I think, seems to know what he's doing when it comes to that sort of thing. So we've got him on board to do that. We're also finally getting to meet the new minister in about a week and a half's time, Wayne and I, just to plant the seed in his mind about how much money we're worth and what we do for the state. Hopefully that'll work out. Now that the state's got no money, I'm not sure how we're going to go there, but what was the other thing? We had I'm not there yet. There was 4 items, wasn't there? What was the third? Can't remember. Anyway, Wayne, as most people know, is retiring in July. So we went to a HR company that specialises in non-for-profits, general manager, CEO, to replace him. We had over 100 applicants. We whittled it down to 10, then we whittled it down to 6, got down to 4, and now we've appointed a guy who happens to be the CEO of Dragon Boat. That's it. I was thinking drum boat.
So did you use a four-wheel drive to tow the dragon boat, or did you have anything to do with four-wheel driving?
Okay.
There's not a lot of bush trees around where they race the dragon boat.
Thank you, Andrew. So this guy is a member of the CFA. He also is an outdoors person. He goes camping and so forth, so he knows a bit about the bush. He's in with, got a good relationship with Parks Victoria, which augurs well for us. He also has good contacts in the Victorian government, particularly in the sporting and environmental area. So in effect, he's mid-40s, ticks all the boxes. And as it turned out on Saturday, there was a couple of guys there who were actually members of the Dragon Boat Association, and they were mortified when they found out he was leaving because he hadn't told anyone. So although he had told the board, but he hadn't told the office. One of them was the secretary, but said, well, we've got to go back and twist his arm to stay. And I said, well, he signed a contract with us, so go your hardest, fellas. Yeah. Yeah, so that's about it, I think. Anything else I need to say, John?
Eric,
John,
Eric, what's happening with Talangi?
I just said the Talangi is now starting operations in May. With first training thing will happen in the first week of May. Yeah, next month.
They're not putting it on their emails.
No, because we just made that decision last weekend and we're going to formalise it on Thursday night when the board meets.
Okay.
Right. Anything else? Tony.
Eric, with these VAC situation and what they're doing with all the parks and that, what's the position being put forward by Four Wheel Drive Victoria on behalf of all the clubs to protect our interests with regards to all of this?
We wrote to them after we got a survey of all the clubs to find out what it is they wanted. This club didn't bother to respond, but all the others did. But what you got to do is get onto that website, because okay. The eminent, what they call them, EPCE, eminent mob, who are going around, the eminent group who are going around having meetings at certain places. They had one at Warburton last week, and I think at Gembrook Thursday last week as well. Yeah, Wednesday and Thursday last week. They're going around the different districts. However, if you get onto that website and get in there in the areas that you like that you hang out of and trip into, put in your comments in there. That's the best place to go, because those comments will be collated and kept.
But wouldn't Four Wheel Drive Victoria put something up on behalf of the clubs?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, okay. That's right.
Yeah.
So the feedback that I've had back is if All Wheel Drive Victoria submits something, regardless of whether it stands for, 800 groups, it doesn't matter. It's still one submission.
One submission.
So
yeah,
if everybody in this room put in a submission, that would be 100 times more than what Four Wheel Drive Victoria can do. So everybody's got to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're absolutely right, Sharon. So that's what we said on Saturday at the when I did that presentation, was that everybody in the room, get round to your clubs and get all your members to respond before the 29th of April.
So what's the term you want us to use? Remote vehicle camping, isn't it?
Yes, that's what we've been pushing hard, remote vehicle camping, and not closing the tracks.
Sorry, Billy's right. It's dispersed vehicle camping.
Yeah. So our mission is to keep the tracks open, so none of this stuff's going to affect us.
So just picking up on what Sharon said, if it's important for all of us to put a response in, can we have something in Weekend Wrap every week for the next 6 weeks?
The 29th it closes of April.
Well, can we have something to go out?
Yeah.
To all the members. I mean, we're only there's 87 or something at the meeting tonight.
Yeah.
And we're hearing it. We've got 700 members. Let's put a call out.
Yeah. Any other questions? So we've had a really good month. We've got Talangi up and running. We've got the building bought. We've got a new CEO, and we've got that VAC thing to deal with. And who knows, personally, it's all about stopping the logging and the greenies wanting the logging stopped and not being able to have it reopened again. So national parks, all that type of thing.
What you're saying there. So the whole big push to turn this on to national parks is so we can't log it again in future. Is that?
That's it.
So,
however, what I know a little bit more because we're on the 4-wheel drive advisory committee, and Parks and DECA are absolutely committed because they've put up a program to the government that's been signed off on. It's actually part of that presentation I did on the weekend, where the activities for each of the 6 areas are they have actually recognised and are allegedly going to find the funding to do it. They've already kicked off the bike track at Warburton for the mountain bikers. So that's a given, that's done. They're looking at doing another one in the Powelltown area and so forth, because there are some tracks up there that the guys with the big tires and like to throw a lot of mud around, the real thrill seekers, have ripped up tracks to a point where they just can't be repaired anymore. So they're going to turn them into mountain bike riding things and so forth. And these are tracks that don't go anywhere. They go from one track at the bottom up to another track somewhere else. They don't go to, they're not a place you could go anywhere. So they just don't have the money to repair them. So they either let them overgrow with the trees, or they turn them into something that recreationally can be used.
And our next report is Webmaster.
He's taken all your time.
Oh, he's taken all my time. Okay. All right. No, I don't actually have a lot to say. We are slowly getting the website updated. There's a lot more videos up there today on YouTube, which you can look at. And for those that didn't see the video that well, for which Rob and Alison ran down to the Haunted Stream, it's already up on YouTube, so you can go up there and look. So if you go to the club website, go to the recent trips, you'll see them all listed, and then the YouTube link is there. So feel free to look at them and enjoy. Also, the ladies' drives up there, which we're going to look at a bit later, but you can look at that as well. It is great to see so many people registering for meetings now. That really does help us a heck of a lot. Alison, thank you tonight. She was actually marking the attendance, and with the change to our meetings being a little bit more formal, we have to keep records of who actually attends meetings. And the easiest way is to have people registered, and we just push a button on a tablet to say, yes, thank you, you've registered, and through we go. We all know there's a few people that don't have computers and stuff. We'll help you out, guys. Don't have a problem with that. But if you do, feel free to get in there and book. And if you have any issues, like somebody did, I won't mention names, feel free to ring me and I will certainly walk you through it. Before I go and to show another video, does anybody have any questions? Just one last thing. We are getting people on Zoom to be able to talk at our meetings. I finally got that approved by the committee, which is great. 2 people came in tonight. We hopefully will see in future when we're running it, if people are sitting at home, they can actually ask the question. You can hear it. You can actually respond to them. I think that's important to make it 2-way, not 1-way. In the past, it's been 1-way where people had to type in a thing and someone over here was answering it. We want you to be able to, if you're sitting at home, you're sick and you want to talk, Viv's over in Cape Arid in WA at the moment. Great to hear her come in and actually hear her voice. So that's what we want to try and achieve with the Zoom. Any questions? No? Thank you.
So we can move on then to our video.
missed that. Another one.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight. It's a good turn up. We hope to see you next month. We will be at the Matthew Flinders, and it's pretty important on what Laurie said, that you do book in if it's at all possible. It's just because it's a new venue. It'll just sort of make it easier on everybody. Okay, so thanks for coming.